In a world where heroes are divided by ideology, war was only a matter of time. But what if the past had unfolded differently? What if truth had surfaced before tragedy? What if T'Challa had known that the Winter Soldier was not responsible for his father's death? In this alternate timeline, the King of Wakanda chooses reason over vengeance and sides with Captain America. By his side stands a legacy of honor, strategy, and unmatched combat skill. Opposing them is Tony Stark, the Iron Man. Still driven by his belief that the Sokovia Accords are necessary, he prepares to face not just former allies, but a king born of battle. Here, there are no politics, no diplomacy, just two icons, and the silence before war. Before the battle begins, let's examine both fighters. Black Panther, also known as T'Challa, is the king of Wakanda. He is 6 feet tall and weighs approximately 200 pounds. His physical abilities are enhanced by the heart-shaped herb, granting him superhuman strength, speed, and agility. T'Challa is a master of multiple African martial arts and stealth tactics. He wears the first-generation vibranium suit, highly resistant but lacking the kinetic energy absorption found in later versions. His fighting style is aggressive, fast, and precise. His strengths include enhanced agility, battlefield awareness, and tactical decision-making under pressure. He fights not only as a warrior, but as a strategist born into leadership. Iron Man, also known as Tony Stark, wears the Mark 43 armor. The suit is an upgrade from the Mark 42 and comes with standard offensive capabilities including repulsor beams, mini-missiles, and a durable metallic frame. He is 6 feet 6 inches tall in the suit and weighs roughly 440 pounds. However, the Mark 43 lacks predictive combat AI, which means Tony must rely entirely on his own reflexes and combat experience. His strengths lie in ranged attacks, high durability, engineering improvisation, and fast tactical adaptation. The battlefield, the Leipzig-Halle Airport. Wide open spaces, multiple structures for cover, and the same site where teams once clashed in the original timeline. The fight begins with Iron Man launching into the air. He opens fire with twin repulsors and a volley of mini-missiles. Black Panther sprints across the tarmac at blinding speed, leaping and weaving between explosions. He hurls a nearby baggage cart toward Iron Man. The object misses, but forces Tony to dodge and adjust his flight path. It was a feint meant to create an opening. T'Challa disappears behind a cargo hangar, choosing to lure Stark into a tighter space. Tony drops lower to scan the area manually. With no AI prediction system, he depends on HUD readings and visual contact. Then, without warning, Black Panther strikes from above. He lands directly onto Tony's shoulders, claws slicing through the outer shoulder plating. Stark responds instantly, firing a repulsor blast at close range. T'Challa is thrown back into a steel container, leaving a dent and momentarily stunned. He stands again with torn fabric and visible cuts on his arm, but far from finished. Tony hovers back, locking onto him. Another repulsor blast follows, this time grazing T'Challa's left shoulder. The suit smokes slightly, but the king presses forward. They engage again in close combat. Iron Man lands a solid knee strike to T'Challa's ribs, enhanced by repulsor output. The impact is severe, likely cracking bone. T'Challa counters with a spinning kick that hits Tony's helmet, cracking the visual display. Tony swings again, this time with a full-force right hook powered by his gauntlet. The punch lands cleanly on T'Challa's jaw, sending him stumbling back. Blood runs from the king's mouth. But he does not falter. Analyzing Stark's movements in real time, T'Challa begins targeting structural weak points. He slashes at the shoulder joint, damaging Stark's left repulsor. Then he moves behind Tony, tearing through backplating with 3 quick strikes. Stark falters, systems flickering. Still, he fights back with a pulse burst, launching T'Challa across the airstrip. The king rolls midair and lands on his feet, panting but steady. Both fighters are now injured. Stark's suit is sparking, flight systems failing, repulsors compromised. T'Challa has sustained a fractured rib, a torn jaw muscle, and multiple bleeding cuts. His suit is damaged at the shoulder, chest, and back. But he remains faster and more controlled. Stark attempts one final shot with his working right-hand repulsor. Chala dodges left, then charges forward. In one motion, he disables the repulsor with a claw strike, tears through the chest plate, and sweeps Tony's legs out from beneath him. Stark crashes to the ground. The fight is over. Tony lies on his back, suit powered down, breath heavy through the helmet. Chala stands above him, bloodied, bruised, but victorious. He does not strike the final blow. The silence between them says everything. It was not a domination. It was not easy. But Black Panther wins. Final evaluation. Despite Iron Man's raw power, durability, and ranged capabilities, the lack of predictive systems and close-range vulnerability allowed Chala to gradually wear down the suit and outmaneuver his opponent. Stark landed strong hits and nearly turned the tide more than once. But the King's precision and resilience were superior. In 10 similar fights under these conditions, Black Panther would win 6 out of 10. Not because Tony Stark is weak, but because Chala fights with instinct, with discipline, and with a legacy that refuses to yield.